G'day there folks, Dan here and welcome to another Facebook Live where today we're talking about a brand new exciting introduction from Facebook advertising called Dynamic Creative. But first of all, my name is Dan. I'm from Organic Digital, and at Organic we help small businesses both educate, train and manage their Facebook advertising. And today's Facebook Live is a new introduction that I've seen on some accounts, but I haven't paid much attention to it. But hat tip to John Loomer for doing a recent article on a new introduction called Dynamic Creative for Facebook ads. And basically what it is I'm sure when you get to the ad creation level and when you read blogs and you watch Facebook Lives and you hear all the different tips out there around Facebook advertising, there are so many conflicting pieces of information on what works, what doesn't, whether it's long text, short text, multiple images, single images, video, short video, long video, all of the different variations. Effectively what Facebook are allowing you to do is use their algorithm to determine exactly what works best to get you the best results. So Dynamic Creative basically allows you to upload multiple assets, both images and videos, not at the same time, but we'll go into the ins and outs of it, as well as text, and Facebook will basically combine different variations of that to see what works best. So you don't need to create multiple ads to do this. And Facebook, generally what I found before is if you have one ad set with multiple adverts of slightly different variations, Facebook would tend to kind of just latch onto one and put most of the budget behind that. Well, this now changes that because you're actually only creating the one ad, just multiple variations of it. And Facebook are putting all the money towards that one ad and they're just testing to see what variations of it. So I'll put the link to, jump in and have a look at it, but I'll put the link to John Loomer's article here that discusses it in more detail, and I'll chuck that in the comments as well, but I want to jump in and actually show you how it works and the ins and outs and idiosyncrasies of it. So first of all, you will only, actually not all accounts have this, so I've got multiple accounts and only one of my accounts at the moment that I found has this option. So to find out, you need to create a new campaign in Power Editor or the new Ads Manager. Actually, they're both the same now, I guess. But you need to use the quick creation, which is this window here, and not the actual guided creation over here. So use this quick creation where you come up with your campaign, your advert, and your advert set and your advert as well. It's only working on conversion campaigns, app installs, and product catalog campaigns as well. So website traffic, videos, all of those other ones, it won't appear for this at the moment. Not sure whether that'll be introduced down the track, but for the moment, conversion campaigns and app installs and product catalogs are the ones you want to use. So that's how you actually would set it up in a campaign. And I'm going to jump into the account that has this has the Dynamic Creative introduced, and it's in the advert set level. So if you want to find out if you've got this, create a new campaign using those campaign objectives, and then when you go to edit that ad set, you'll actually find down here there's a new little section called Dynamic Creative. And you can just actually select that on. When you turn it on, Facebook will, I'll turn it off and then I'll turn it on to show you exactly what it looks like. So they show you this little warning message as basically sometimes if you create advert creative that isn't compatible, that it just basically changes or deletes it. So, but I think that's what that relates to, is making sure that all your creative is compatible with the various different placements that you put in your ads, which is like any other advertisement that have each got their different dimensions and specifications and stuff like that. So that's fairly self-explanatory. Then that's all you need to do at the advert set level. So head there first, see if you've got it available, and then jump into the adverts stage, and then you can actually start setting up the different variations of your creative. And then when you actually get down to the creation or the creative level, you can only at the moment do images or video, not a combination of both for the moment anyway. So you can just basically select multiple images. So I've got just some dummy images set up that I'll upload, and then I'll add my URL. And then when you get down to the text and the copy side of things, you can basically type in a combination. You can type in what you want and then add another one. So, this is text 2, headline, and the same for the description as well, and also buttons as well. So let me just add them in so you can, and I'll show you what it looks like and how they bring everything together. So I'll select a couple more buttons as well. And in John Loomer's article, it's got the actual how many variations of each you can do. I think images is up to 10, and then I think there's about 5 of the different variations of each of the copy as well. So then it'll provide you with an example over here in the preview, obviously. When you go to view more variations, then what you can actually do is have a combination of each of them there. So have a look at what it looks like with that image and another description and another headline and stuff like that. So you can get an indication on how they would all fit together. Obviously, this is the one ad though, so I need to remind you that with all of these variations, you need to make sure that it all makes sense. If you put 1 with 10 with 5 with 3, like they all need to make sense if Facebook were to grab that particular variation. So it's really just variations of the one particular message that you're trying to push, and only the one link as well. So it all goes through to the one link as well. So I've actually got different variations of blog post images there, but obviously they're not going to work because they're different messages there. So you would need to have all exactly the same thing. Then basically you publish it like you would a normal advertisement, and it just appears as a normal advertisement. The other great thing about this is that rather than using the hack of having the post ID and then having to copy that post ID across different ad sets and using it multiple times again to push all the likes and comments and shares through to that one post, now this is effectively doing it for you, because it still is only the one post, so it only has the one post ID. So regardless of whether they're reacting to a particular image or a particular piece of copy, all of those different interactions will go and be funneled through to the one post, which gives you a better relevance and more social proof. Facebook love that, brings the price down of the advertisements there as well. So a really interesting introduction from Facebook, and great for people when they're arguing and they can't decide maybe between a couple of team members on what works and what doesn't. Well, Facebook are going to help you determine that. So again, hat tip to John Loomer. I'll put the link to the the article in the comments of this article, but jump in there and see whether you've got it for starters. If you don't, I'm sure it'll roll out sooner rather than later. But a fantastic little introduction to allow you to test a few different things and variations to determine what works once and for all for your business. Once you find out that, then you can do more combinations of that. Speaking of actually finding out what works, it doesn't actually appear in the ads reporting, so you do need to export the advertisement actual reporting and have a look at the advert creative, and Facebook will then tell you what advert creative has got the best results. So it doesn't actually show you within the ads reporting console. You need to export that data to find out what it is, but really interesting introduction. So jump in there, start playing around with it, start testing. Once you find out what works, do more of that. All right, bye-bye.